I don't know. Have a good day.
Hello everyone, it's story time. Today we have a story about how parents decided to come back like nothing happened. Who was right, who was wrong, we will find out at the end of the story. Let's go. AITA for pretending not to recognize my parents when they tried to reconnect. I was raised mostly by my uncle and aunt. My older sister developed a serious illness when I was 6, and my parents decided that they couldn't care for both of us, I guess. So they kind of unceremoniously dumped me at my grandparents, and my uncle took me in. Like, didn't ever explain to me what was going on, just, you're going to visit Gran for a while, and never pick me back up. My grandparents and uncle explained later, and they were pretty livid at my parents. I've seen my parents maybe 5 times since then, and not at all for the last 9 years. I decided to stop having contact with them when I was 12, and since I was the only one reaching out, all communication broke down. It turned out okay. I love my aunt and uncle, and it turns out they can't have kids, so they always said I'm their miracle kid. I was just misrouted by the stock at first. I was formally adopted by them when I was 18. I wish it had been earlier, but there were some red things that would have made that really expensive and difficult. I'm 21 now. My sister passed away between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I made a trip back from school for the funeral, but I stayed in the back and left before my bio parents could talk to me. They called my uncle to try to talk to me, but I said I didn't want to, so he told them that I wasn't available at the moment. They finally caught up to me over Christmas when I went to midnight mass with my gran and approached me and tried to give me a hug. I didn't recognize them, but I pretended not to and just backed off and said, "Sorry, do I know you?" They said, "We are your parents." And I said, "My parents are at home," and went and sat down with my gran. They stayed behind and I could just feel the stare. And on the way out they were like, "You really don't recognize us?" And I said, "Oh, are you my dad's brother? I think I remember you from when I was little." My gran thinks they deserved it, trying to come back to me like nothing happened, but they wrote me along later about how hurt they are and how I should understand that they were trying to do the right thing and how they will always be my parents and I can't change that. As a family member think I was too harsh as they are grieving, but I don't think they should get a pass just because they remembered me now that my sister is gone. I agree with your gran. Your parents forgot about you for a long time, and when your sister died, they decided they could come back. They did a terrible thing. I'll do the same if I were you. Another part of your relative simply doesn't understand how it was painful to be abandoned. And now, the next story. AITA disinvited my late wife's children from my wedding. About a year ago, my wife Anna, of 25 years, passed away, 8 months after being diagnosed with cancer. Besides our 25-year-old son Andrew, she also had 3 other children, Alison, Barbara, Caleb, from a prior marriage. Their father was never really around, so I have raised them as my own basically ever since I married their mom. Anna's cancer was very difficult for me financially, and I wound up having to downgrade my car to pay for medical bills and make withdrawals from my 400 and 1,000 and take on a lot of debt. Shortly after Anna died, I met another woman, Beth, who I have since married. Given that we are living together in Beth's house, selling Anna's house made a lot of sense. When we were packing up the house, I asked Anna's kids if they wanted anything, and they said they didn't. I invested a large amount of money renovating the house and getting it ready to sell, and eventually found a house flipping company that would take it on. On the day of the closing, I was surprised to find out that Alison had sent an email to the lending company, telling them that she had been reading up all state law, and that since Anna's kids weren't mine, they were entitled to the portion she would have gotten from the sale. Turns out she was right. I feel like Anna's children deliberately chose to nick me, but their insistence that Alison didn't know what was going on and was just asking questions. I should have been able to take the money, Anna, and I had saved up and start a new life. But now I am probably going to have to sell the new motorcycle I just bought and have long wanted. And I am not going to be able to get myself out of debt. This was supposed to be a fresh start for me, and now I'm stuck with the same old problems I've always had. The day of the eventual closing, I was still extremely upset, so when I woke up from work, I texted Alison, Barbara, and Karen and let them know that I'd also been doing my own reading about our state's laws. And it turns out I'm not actually their father, and they should work on their relationship with the person who actually is. I also told them they were no longer welcome at my wedding, which was the next weekend. Upon finding out I had said that, Andrew was extremely upset with me. We met for lunch the following day and asked him to be my best man. But he told me that unless I apologized to his siblings, he didn't want to attend my wedding. I was hoping he'd get over it, but he hasn't talked to me since, saying that he's too old to be a 25-year-old child of divorce, and that he was offended that I got married the weekend after the anniversary of his mom's funeral. To me, the day isn't particularly meaningful, since the date that weighs on my heart is the one that she actually died. That thinks I should just follow my pride and apologize so that Andrew will talk to me again, but I can't help but feel hard done by here. This story just made me settle around. What do I think about it? Alison could have talked in person instead of sending a letter to the company. It looks mean. I'm sure that the original poster has done a lot of good things for Anna and for her children. If someone had done the same to me, I would have cancelled the wedding invitation too. Alright, story time is over. Thank you for your attention.
I don't know, have a good day.